Hi, my name is Adam Coon. I am a junior one at Kettering University, and I would like to be considered for a role in the Kagle Leadership Initiative. So I'm just gonna run through these questions. There's gonna be a couple cuts, uh, but just hopefully I do a decent job. So number one, talk about a time when you had to work closely with somebody whose personality was very different from yours. Now, this is something that comes up in a lot of group work, and it's a good thing. With different personalities, you get different perspectives, and different perspectives give you different ideas. In order to have like a really strong group project, you have to be able to like openly discuss all as many ideas as possible. Now, in order to openly discuss it, you have to be able to defend your own opinion, and you have to be able to uh, say like and you have to be able to like give constructive criticism. Constructive is key there because if you start berating people about why their idea is wrong and you do it too much, you can kind of close them off and prevent them from sharing other good ideas. You can also get them to kind of resent you, and that really doesn't add to the cohesiveness as a unit. You want to be a group that enjoys working with each other, and that's really how you can get like the best results, and turns a project into something that you have to do into something you get to do. Um, I also think that like this kind of group work is kind of, or the different personalities, that really helps prepare you for life and kind of the workforce, because of how essential like collaboration is there. Not everybody's going to think like you, and that's a good thing. So uh, I tend to think of my personality as I kind of like to be the one who kind of I wouldn't say I like to be the one who kind of delegates stuff. In the sense that everybody's on the same page. I like to make sure that you know what I'm doing, and that I know what you, and you are doing. Um, I think that this helps kind of promote accountability, which is essential, is to make sure that everybody's doing their part, and it kind of makes it different from like a one person project. So and like just because people aren't focused in the same area that you are in, they can still help you. They can still give kind of good ideas, like point you in like the right direction, even though you're in charge of that like specific area. Now, something that a group project where this came up last year, I would say, was in my prob stats final project. We were using a program called like the Islands, where we like surveyed a bunch of islanders on this website. So we could like survey them, we could run tests on them, but we didn't have to do any like real world work. And the guy that I picked, he was super capable, super smart. Loved working with him, but he's a lot more reserved than I am. So because of this, like I decided to take more of a hands-on approach, because you can't treat everybody the same. In the sense that we spent some time, getting our plan fleshed out, but then we kind of, just went off and did our own thing. At the same time, like we were always working in like the same D space, so if I needed help with something, I'd ask him. If he needed help with something, he would like ask me, and we were able to kind of give our opinions on each other's, constructively criticize each other's work, and I think our project came out a lot better than that. Now, when we were first like coming up for the idea of the project, like he wanted to play it safe. I kind of wanted to try and go above and beyond. So something that was essential there was like the ability to compromise. So like the final project, it didn't have as many surveys as I wanted, but it had more than he wanted. And because we were able to compromise, I think that really helped us, like being able to work together better, and hear like what the other person was saying, and like really take it to heart and consider their viewpoint. If I were to like totally shut him down and say, "Hey, we're doing it this way," then he wouldn't have been as receptive if I said, hey, maybe, change the color scheme on that slide or whatever, Um, but yeah, all in all, that turned out to be a very enjoyable project, and I loved working with him. Hi, my name is Adam Coon. I am a junior one at Kettering University, and I would like to be considered for a role in the Kagle Leadership Initiative. So I'm just going to run through these questions that you gave me. There's probably going to be a couple cuts, but hopefully I do a decent job. So one, talk about a time when you had to work closely with someone whose personality was very different from yours. Now this difference in personalities is something that comes up in a lot of group work, and it's a good thing. With different personalities, you get different perspectives, and that gives you different ideas. And in order to choose the best idea for the group as a whole to take, it's essential that you get as many ideas as possible in play. And with these ideas, they have to be defendable. So you have to be able to explain to your group why this is a good idea, why their ideas might not be the best idea, and you really have to be open to debate and constructive criticism. And constructive is key, because you can't say, hey, your idea is bad, you're stupid, I hate you. Not like that, but versions of that, where you're going to really close people off. You have to be able to kind of approach things in a gentle way, and in a way that kind of adds to the cohesiveness as kind of a group as a whole. You have to act as a unit, and a unit that enjoys working with each other. So something that I tend to do when I'm in any kind of group work is I like to be really hands-on. I like to be able to kind of delegate. I like to be the one who's kind of everyone knows what you're doing, and you know what everybody else is doing. I think that is essential for kind of bringing about an accountability, because I know a lot of the times with group work, not everybody's doing their part, and I believe that when everybody's invested in the project, that's when the magic happens. That's the best possible scenario. Now, an example of this happening with me is with my prob stats final this year. We had a project where we had to survey a bunch of islanders. It's for a computer program. So we could hand out surveys, gauge responses. It's kind of nice, after testing, so we didn't have to do any real world work. But I paired myself with a partner who I really believed in. I was confident in his abilities, his investment in the project. But he was a lot more reserved than I am. He kind of wanted to play it safe. I kind of wanted to see if we could step it up a notch, So he wanted fewer surveys, I wanted more, and what was as important in that scenario is compromise. So we were able to come out with a finished project where it had more surveys than he wanted but less than I wanted, and the project was a lot better for that. It was fleshed out, but I don't think it was too wordy. We collected a bunch of data. Something else we did with that project is we kind of we were able to divide up the work, so we weren't working with each other all the time. So we kind of went our separate ways, and then we checked each other's work kind of towards the end. That's something I couldn't do with everybody, but I trusted his abilities and he trusted mine, which I thought came to a really enjoyable project. So, question 3. Tell me about a time you were under a lot of pressure, what was going on, and how did you get through it? Well, last term I had a very busy schedule. I was working 17 hours a week in the ASC lab as a SI leader and a tutor. I was taking a 20-credit term, and I was also pledging to a fraternity. This naturally meant that I had a lot of commitments, and a lot of commitments means that I had limited free time. And right around midterms, when I had to write a paper for LS, I had to study for the midterm in prob stats and statics, and I had a project due in Mech 100. That limited free time turned into no free time. Because of this, I really had to get more responsible in terms of my scheduling. This meant that I had to really take into consideration prioritization, which meant that I kind of had to figure out how to spend my time most efficiently. So I couldn't study for one test as much as I wanted to because I needed to study for another test even more, and it kind of caused me to miss out on a lot of intramurals and non-essential activities that I would have wanted to have done. Another thing that really helped me to get through this time was scheduling. In the past, that has been one of my weak points, but I was really able to kind of clean up my act in terms of getting Google calendars and kind of really structuring my day properly. This kind of visualization meant that I was less likely to kind of push something off to later, just by kind of setting a time up for studying ahead of time, and that really helped me. And a third thing that helped me through this time was just kind of having a positive mindset. I couldn't kind of succumb to the pressure. And I couldn't see it as a crisis because the work's not going away, the due date's not changing. So any time you spend worrying about it is just wasted time. And all in all, they did a pretty good job, and happy where I kind of ended up.